It's 7:30. Good morning, I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. The Premier has appointed a coordinator to oversee the flood recovery in the Hunter and Central Coast. Katie Kimberley reports.
The Hunter and Central Coast suffered the worst during last week's wild weather. 4 people lost their lives, rural properties were cut off by floodwaters, and some residents watched on as their homes were swept away. It'll be some time before the community's back on its feet, and to assist, Premier Mike Baird announced retired Brigadier Darren Norman will be the Regional Recovery Coordinator. He'll be working with communities, councils and other government agencies to focus on fixing the damage. He'll be briefed by police and the SES in Sydney today before he starts work on the ground tomorrow.
Some homes in the Hunter are set to remain in the dark for several days to come. The damage is so bad, especially around Port Stephens, many people will remain without power into a second week. 22,000 homes and businesses are currently blacked out. The focus today will be on Lemon Tree Passage. Meanwhile, around 3,000 people are still cut off by floodwaters. Supplies are continuing to be delivered by helicopter to Gilliston Heights, Hinton, Toryburn, Woodville, Duckenfield, Nelson's Plains, Millers Forest and Phoenix Park. Also isolated properties at Wollombi and Laguna. Hunter SES Incident Controller Amanda Williamson has told NBN some people remain cut off for up to 5 days.
We will get to you, and we appreciate that everyone is frustrated, and we just ask for your patience during this time as we get through these volumes of jobs.
Trains are running on the Hunter rail line again after a week-long shutdown. A test train ran well between Newcastle Port and Maitland yesterday, with passenger services resuming to Hamilton this morning on a reduced frequency. Buses are still replacing services between Maitland and Scone and to Dungog. Some parts of the track still need major repair work, with ARTC crews to work around the clock this week to get the network up to scratch. The massive clean-up continues today in Lake Macquarie. A free curbside green waste collection will begin, with 11 crews moving across the city. Unlike normal collections, there's no limit on how much you can put out. Meanwhile, 14 Hunter schools remain closed today. In other news, a man's been charged after he allegedly crashed a stolen police car at Ashtonfield. The 32-year-old had just been arrested yesterday morning following a domestic dispute in South Seas Drive and was sitting in the back seat of the car while officers spoke to his alleged victim. Despite being handcuffed, it's alleged he climbed into the front seat and managed to drive off, but he didn't make it very far, crashing into 2 parked cars and a house. Constable Justin Hirano says the man's due to face Maitland Local Court today.
The man was not injured in the crash and was taken to Maitland Police Station before being taken to hospital for observation. He was later returned to Maitland Police Station and charged with 9 offences: common assault, armed with intent, contravene AVO, taken drive conveyance, drive manner dangerous, disqualified driving, escape police custody, reckless wounding and breach of bail.
And fire crews are being hampered by a broken water main as they continue to battle a blaze at a suspected bikie clubhouse at Bullaroo. Firefighters were called to the 40 by 40 metre corrugated iron clubhouse and Creek Reserve Road at 4:30 this morning to find a fire inside the building. Police are treating the fire as suspicious. Updating sport, the Newcastle Knights Anzac Day clash has resulted in the team's 4th straight loss in the NRL, succumbing to the North Queensland Cowboys 26 points to 24. Captain Kurt Gidley was particularly down on his own performance, making multiple errors at Hunter Stadium. Coach Rick Stone says defence is about attitude, but the team had a few poor structural decisions during the game.
I'm not going to sort of point the finger. Everyone's having a crack and they're all trying hard. Collectively, if you couple the errors in and you put our defence together and then you add a little bit of polish on some last plays, we're just making it hard for ourselves at the moment.
Meanwhile, 5 Knights players will play the annual City Country match. Aku Iwate, James McManus, Jared Mullen, Cade Snowden and Tarek Sims will join Country to face City at Wagga Wagga on Sunday. And the Newcastle Jets may have left the A-League with a wooden spoon for 2014-15, but a number of players received honours at the team's awards luncheon. Departing midfielder Andrew Houle has been awarded Player of the Year, and Newcastle Men of Football's Ray Bart's medal. Meanwhile, Matilda's star Emily Van Egmond took out the Jets' W League title. To NURFM News Time, 26 to 8.